Hi, I'm Brian Russell, and I will be your professor in OT611 Exegesis of Exodus, and it's truly a privilege and a joy to facilitate this class for you this semester. If you haven't had me for a class before, just let me take a couple of minutes to introduce myself. I did my doctoral studies in the book of Exodus and the Pentateuch and wider biblical theology, but I wrote a dissertation on Exodus chapter 15, verses 1 to 21, and I've been studying and teaching Exodus ever since. And this is one of my favorite classes to teach because Exodus is one of the foundational books in the Hebrew Bible. We have the setup essentially for Israel's story. Israel's gospel essentially is a story of how God comes down and defeats this dominant superpower of the time, Egypt, who's enslaved God's people, and God reveals his power, his prestige, his character, while liberating God's people from the unjust service to Pharaoh and essentially unleashing them into the service of God's mission in the world. And as God leads them out of Egypt, God brings them to Sinai, where we have the second big piece of the Old Testament. So we have the Exodus itself from Egypt, and then we have the giving of the law at Sinai, and essentially the sanctification of God's people so that they can live as a missional community that exists for the sake of the rest of the world. So that's Exodus, and I get really excited about this class because it's fun to teach the different passages in the book, and it's actually fun for me to help all of you to gain some facility in using Hebrew. Unlike IBS, which again the first IBS class is one of the prerequisites for this, we are going to use original language tools in the book of Exodus, in the exegesis of Exodus. Now I have a lot of video resources to help you. I know that what I just said can create some different kinds of anxiety and fear because a lot of students find the languages difficult. My job this semester is essentially to establish in you a mindset that says, I got this, I can do it, and I'm going to help you learn to use Hebrew much better than you can right now. That's guaranteed, assuming that you come into the class open, willing to learn, and to put away any thoughts like I'm not good at languages. Because what I'm going to challenge you is this: you're not good at language. You may not be good at languages now, but you're going to be good at languages. So what you need to learn to say to yourself is, I'm not good at Hebrew yet. Some of you already are fantastic at Hebrew, and this is going to be fun and will push you along. But I just, again, will challenge you each week to learn a little bit more about Hebrew so that you achieve a tool that's going to be useful for the whole point of this class, which is to learn to break open the scriptures and slowly grow into inspiring, compelling, and capable and confident interpreters of scripture. So that's kind of the goal. And so this class will teach you exegetical skills, and we'll have some different tools that we'll work on, and we're going to use essentially the book of Exodus as our laboratory. And what a better book to use. And so take a look at the syllabus and read through it, see if you have any questions. Again, there's going to be inevitably some kind of a typo or something on a date. Just know this: online, again, another thing I should say, this is a hybrid class, so we'll be meeting for 3 days on campus a few weeks into the semester, so check the syllabus, make sure you have your travel plans arranged. But in advance of our time together and then after our time together, we're going to have work online. So this semester actually runs from September 3rd through the 14th of December. So September 3rd to 14th, the online classroom will be open the whole time. So I encourage you, actually, it's really a necessity. Make sure you're logging in every week because assignments are going to be due. Also note that the way the semester is set up is that there's assignments due consecutively for about the first 6 weeks or so in the class, and then at the end of the semester you have some choices. So again, there'll still be serious work at the end, but it won't be due every single week. So you have some choices at the end. So it's kind of front heavy to learn the skills, and then the application of the skills that we'll teach this semester you'll have options for how to apply those skills at the end of the term. So review the syllabus. Also look at the books. Again, we need bring your textbooks from OT501. So that's going to include obviously the Cook-Homestead book for Hebrew grammar questions, and also your copy of the Hebrew Bible. Now that can be either in paper or electronically. I'm also going to show you how to use electronic tools to help you with parsing and our syntax assignments. So things like Bible Hub, for example, are going to be helpful. So if you're struggling with your Hebrew, I'm going to show you how to leverage tools that will help you with your success. The actual required textbooks for this class include the Dictionary of the Old Testament Pentateuch that comes from InterVarsity Press. That's a big book. We're going to use that as a background book. There's going to be some articles we're going to read. There's one commentary that I required you to buy. That's the book, that's Exodus in the Interpretation Series by Terence Fredheim. We're going to write a critical book review comparing two texts, Exodus and Revolution by Michael Walzer. Walzer essentially writes from a liberationist perspective, and we're going to compare, contrast his hermeneutical approach to Exodus with Ross Blackburn's The God Who Makes Himself Known. They come at the text in very different ways, but that'll make a fun critical book review to write later in the semester. And then our principal text that we're going to use for understanding Hebrew better and applying it to exegesis is going to be a Guide to Biblical Hebrew Syntax by Bill Arnold, who teaches at Asbury, and then John Choi. And you may note that that's available as an ebook for you as well. So those are the textbooks. If you can log in to find some additional bibliography, I will have videos for you that will break down key aspects, that will review the work that you've done, and that will be there to help you. If you have any problems with this class, contact me early as possible so that I can help you. My desire is for everybody to succeed and have a maximum beneficial learning experience. Again, that's my job. I see myself as a coach almost, in the sense that I'm coaching you so you guys can do really well when you get out into the real world and preach and teach, what some of you are already doing. So I'm here to serve, and I look forward to working with each one of you, but let me know if you're having problems. And I do need to mention here at the beginning of the fall 19 semester that there's already a tropical system. Again, some of you may not even be able to see this video for a little bit, but if you end up being affected by Hurricane Dorian or by any storms that may come over the next month or so, let me know as soon as you're able to communicate. Again, that may involve even having to pick your phone up and calling my office if you can't get internet access, but just let me know what's going on so that I can help you as much as I can. Again, I'll look forward to seeing your work, your excellent work, very soon. Invite you just to continue on in the introductory materials, watch the videos, introduce yourself, and can't wait to see you all in person. Until then, I'm Brian Russell, and it truly is my privilege to be your professor this semester.